8 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown, 25.7 PPR points, a blockbuster game for Philadelphia Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert in Week 5 against the Los Angeles Rams. But the question is now, is this sustainable moving forward? This is the Fantasy Sports Boss with another Trend of Mirage video. So Dallas Goedert finally rewarded his fantasy football owners because the first month of the season definitely tested their patience, from the donut he put up in Week 1 and then single-digit fantasy points the 3 following weeks. Dallas Goedert was even finding himself released in some leagues, benched in many others, despite being drafted as a top 5 tight end in the majority of fantasy football leagues this past summer. Now, coming off this huge game against the Rams, it seemed like the Eagles were making a concerted effort to get him more involved in the offense, and it obviously worked. I mean, it was just huge. And this shows you Goedert, who's a tremendous athlete at tight end, has that speed and physicality, the total package physically. But now we need to know if this is going to be the status quo moving forward. Now, in terms of Goedert in history, his history in the NFL, he's still a young player, but a couple things have stood out about him. One is that he's been, a 50, 60 catch guy, decent yardage, but not much in the way of touchdowns. He's not a big red zone target guy. He hardly got any targets in the red zone last year with the Eagles. He has a quarterback that likes to run it in around the goal line. He's got 2 alpha wideouts at A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, also competing for targets. So this all complicates Goedert moving forward, this huge game notwithstanding. Now, listen, this is a run-heavy Eagles offense. And the problem, too, is even though that they have sort of a tight target tree with Brown, Smith, and Goedert, only 2 of these 3 are going to be fantasy viable each week in terms of their numbers. Now, you're still going to start all 3, but I think consistency is going to elude Goedert, because I think when all things are equal, I think it's going to be Brown and Smith more often than not that are going to get the fantasy-friendly numbers, and Goddard is going to have to pick up whatever's left over as a third target. That wasn't the case against the Rams, but I think majority-wise that's going to be the case moving forward. However, a tight end, you can deal with that every week. So you certainly will play Goddard the rest of the way, because again, the depth is not great at tight end, but I still think he takes a backseat to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. I think this is a mirage in terms of this game going forward. All right, guys, hit that subscribe button. More videos on the way soon, so stay tuned.